details are getting saved. Okay. Now here, this format is fixed. Only fields you can change, and you can give different name to this sections, but the format is fixed. But if you don't want in this format, and if you want to build this from scratch, this entire page, if you want to display in your own way, then we need to write Visualforce code for that one. Okay. So how to write Visualforce code? First of all, why to write the Visualforce code? If you are not satisfied with the front end view, what Salesforce is giving as the default display, if you are not happy with this one, and if you want to show your own page which has all the details as per your wish. Okay. For example, see here, Salesforce by default is giving in this inside the section, either you can put only one column or two columns. One column means this one, two column means this one. But if I want three columns, if I want four columns, no, it's not allowing us. So within the structure given by Salesforce, if you want to do something, we are using the standard page layouts concept. Okay. But if you are not happy with that, if you want your own style and your own thing, then we need to write the code for that one. So for that purpose, we are using the Visualforce code. Okay. So now first point, what is the purpose of Apex programming language? What is the purpose of Visualforce code? First, you need to understand the difference between these two. Okay. The purpose of Apex programming language is to build a logic that you could not achieve through any other automation tool like workflow, process builder, flow. If you could not achieve anything through these things, okay, and if you have a complex business logic that needs some complex calculations or complex implementation, then we are using Apex programming language to achieve that functionality. Whatever you write in Apex code, that will run in the backend only. Front end, how we are seeing all these days our output in system.debug only. But as a end user, will the end user see in system.debug? No. End user will see the output here. Yes or no? So what we are writing all these days is the backend code. Now what we are going to do is the front end code. Means I want the button here. I want the field here. I want the field color like this. I want the field letters like this. Everything like a white paper. You can write whatever you want. Okay. So there are no, formats, nothing. You can write whatever you want, what in whichever way you want, you can build it. Okay. So Salesforce has given this kind of flexibility through initially Salesforce gave a programming language. I mean, we call this as a scripting languages. Okay. Or front end languages, wherein initially it started with some S controls. Okay, the name of that is S controls. That was the initial thing that Salesforce launched. After that, Salesforce completely deprecated that. Deprecating means completely stopped using it and not allowing anyone to use it. Okay, they felt that okay, Visualforce is the right one. Okay, so they started Visualforce, and they asked us to write Visualforce code. So we can write and display whatever we want using Visualforce code. Okay. After that, they identified some drawbacks with Visualforce code, and then they moved on to Lightning. After that, they identified some drawbacks in Lightning, and then they moved on to LWC. Okay. So there is no alternative for Apex. You have to learn it 100%. There is no option. In any interview, first they will ask you admin questions, then they will ask you Apex questions, then they will ask you which one you know better. You know Visual Force, or you know Lightning, or you know LWC. Which one you know? You worked on which one? They will ask. You can tell I worked on Visual Force, or you can say I worked on Lightning, or you can say I worked on LWC. Okay. The point is like you can ask me a question like say, sir, already Lightning, LWC are advanced, right? So now why should I learn Visual Force page? Because the answer to this is Salesforce currently it is saying that today also you can create new Visual Force page, and also it is saying that you can modify the existing Visual Force pages. Salesforce is saying that today also you can create new Visual Force pages. Today also you can modify the existing Visual Force pages. One day when Salesforce says that completely you cannot create new Visual Force pages. First they will give this update. After that, after 1 or 2 years, they will say that you upgrade all your Visual Force code to some Lightning or LWC, and we are completely stopping Visual Force. Till that time, we need to learn, because if you go into a project where already some Visual Force page code is there, and they may ask you to make some changes to that. Okay. So that's why you need to learn Visual Force also, Lightning also, LWC also. Okay. But all these things, if you know the basics, that's enough. It's not like the Apex you need to learn 100%, because tomorrow Salesforce may come and say that some advanced thing is coming, and they may say that now currently we are using LWC, in future we are going to use this. Then you need to adapt yourself to that new one. Okay. But backend they have not made any change from the beginning till today. Apex only is there. Of course, small minor new methods, new classes they might have given. Small, they might have stopped using some existing keywords, and they may added new keywords, one or two. Very minor changes. 98 percentage it is same. 1 or 2 percentage they may give new updates and new releases, or they may remove the existing features in new releases. But 98% it is constant. So that's why when you are in a learning stage, if the syllabus itself is going to change very frequently, it will be very difficult to learn. So focus on admin and Apex. Give your best there, because today you are learning, and like LWC you will learn, Lightning you will learn, Visual Force you will learn. Okay. If that person is focusing on Visual Force, you can say that, so no, I don't know Visual Force, I know LWC or Lightning. If that guy is asking LWC or Lightning, you can say no, I know Visual Force. Like that you can have an option to escape there. But in Apex there is no option to escape. So give your 100% both in admin and Apex. Here, if you know the basics, that's enough to crack the interview. Okay. So fine. So now let's practically try to understand how to implement, how to work on the Visual Force. Okay. Visual Force also, we need to go to developer console. Okay. And here, file, new, file, file. Okay. File, new, Visual Force page. Okay. Click on this. Give some name. Like how you, whenever you are creating a class, how you will create the class name? Yes or no? How you will create a trigger? Will you create objects from here? Object is admin part. Class name, not object. In Apex, we are creating classes. Let me cancel this. What we are creating? New Apex class. What you will give? Object name or class name? Class name. No, you cannot compare this with anything existing. This is completely new. Don't link this with anything existing because all these days what we have done is back end. This is front end, completely new. Don't link this to anything else. Okay. This is somewhat similar to HTML code. See, if I want to display, see, this is a website basically, yes or no? This is a website only. There is some web address. Okay. And once the page loads, you are seeing this. Okay. Similarly, if I write a website, so what is the difference between, see, w3schools.com. This is a website. Once I enter that in the URL, it is showing me that particular website, right? So now what is the difference between a website related code and the backend code? Programming language Apex is a programming language which is similar to Java, wherein we will write public class name or trigger name on object. That kind of structure we will follow. But here inside HTML, the structure will be something like this. See, HTML inside the tags are there. This open tag, close tag, HTML. Inside that head, open tag, close tag. Body, open tag, close tag. So tags are there, right? So this type of language, okay. So Visual Force is also this kind of thing, okay. Once if we write, then you will get some clarity. New, okay. Visual Force page, okay. Okay. So it is giving me the page tag. Page tag is the start. It should, every Visual Force page should start with Apex page. This tag. It should start with this. It should end with this. If you want to write anything, write in between these two. Like same as HTML. See in HTML, if we are starting with HTML, ending with HTML. Inside this, we need to write the head, start head, close head. Inside that, start body and body. In between, whatever you want, you can write. If I click this, see here, H1, head, this is heading, this is paragraph. Here, okay, this is a Salesforce training. I changed the heading, okay. And if I click on run, see, if I make change, I'm getting the output respectively. Similar thing, similar tags, but different tags will be there for Visual Force. Different tags are there for HTML. Okay. Here, if I directly write, this is my first Visual Force example. Okay. If I click on save. Okay. And if I want to see here, preview button is there. See here, preview button. Directly click on the preview button. It will load the page and it will show you the output. See, this is strict. Entire white page is coming, but this thing is there, right? That also I don't want. See, this header is there. This complete Salesforce heading is there, and this side thing is there. Na? I don't want that also. Okay, and from here the entire white page is there. If I don't want that also, here what I can do, show header false. Just save. Now click on preview. See, entire white page, whatever you write, it will come here. Okay. So now you cannot compare this with anything that we have done previously. That is what we have done. That is backend coding. Here, whatever you want to display, you write it, it will come. Okay. Now, okay. So now this one is clear, right? Now all of you copy this. I mean, note down this one and execute this one. First you do that, then only we can move ahead. Okay. Very simple. When compared to Apex, Visualforce is very simple. Whatever you write here, that will come there. Here, if you make some changes, then there it will come as different changes. I want it in 2 lines. Okay, like that. Different things we can do. We will do one by one. Okay. First, take this example. You see the output in your system. Then we can do multiple examples. Easy. This is very easy when compared to what we have done previously. And here we can create a button, and when you click on the button, some backend apex logic should execute and it should return the output. We can do those things also. We will do all those things. Everybody got output? These kind of languages are known as markup languages. Okay. HTML is a markup language. Visual Force is a markup language. These type of languages are known as markup languages. Whereas Java is a programming language. Apex is a programming language. Okay. That that is the difference between programming languages and markup languages. First, write this question. What is Salesforce? Sorry, what is Visual Force page? So now what happens behind the scenes? What is the architecture behind it? That we will discuss. Then we will see more examples. Okay. Write down this. What is a Visual Force page? Write down this. A Visual Force controller is nothing but Apex program. So what we will do is we will just write the name of the Apex class. In that way, we will link this front end page to the back end class. That's it. There, whatever you want to do, you can do. So here, from here, we can call it and execute that. Okay. So that's why write down this, put this question. I will tell in detail. First, write down this. See, all of you see my screen once. If there is some website and if it is displaying this one, by seeing this, can you tell this is Salesforce or not? You cannot tell like that. Okay. Once the website is ready, you cannot tell that whether they are using Salesforce or something else. By seeing the URL, you may say, but in that also we can give the specific domains. Okay. But you can find somewhere force or Salesforce. That word you can find in the URL. Using that, you can say. Otherwise, by seeing this one, you cannot say that using which technology they built this one. They may use HTML. Okay. So the same thing. So here W3 schools is there, right? Let me copy this one. Close this here. New text document. mm, Sample. Okay. Paste it. Okay. File. Save as sample. All files. Sample dot html. Okay. Save. See now. Let's close this. See now. If I double click this, this is coming as a website. Yes or no? So by seeing this, can you say this is developed using Salesforce or HTML or something else? So the point is, what is this? This is a browser, Edge browser. Okay. What is this? This is a Chrome browser. Like that, you can have Safari browser, like different browsers. So the point is, what browser can understand, if you give it, it will display. What browser can understand? Browser can understand HTML, CSS, JavaScript. These are the three browser can understand. HTML is used to display the content. Here, this is the line I want to display. I used HTML to display the content. Then what is the use of CSS? CSS means cascading style sheets. CSS purpose is for decorating the page. Okay. Using CSS, you will not show a new word or new content. Using CSS, you can change the color of the text. You can change the background color. You can give some left space, right space, alignment. All these things we will do using CSS. Then what is the purpose of JavaScript? If you want to perform some activity, like if I click on this button, then something should work. Okay. If I just put my cursor there, it should show some information. So these kind of things, some action if you want to perform, that can be done through JavaScript. So basically, browser can understand if you give the information in the form of HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. That's it. Beyond that, it cannot do anything. Now we are writing in Visualforce, right? Now, what is actually happening behind the scenes is, in your system, you are writing the Visualforce code. When you save it, when you execute it, every time you execute the Visualforce page code, this code will go through the internet to the Salesforce server, and their Salesforce server will convert this Visualforce page code into HTML, and that will be given to the browser, and browser is displaying it. If you click on a button, that button click will call Apex program through Visualforce page, and this information will be given to the Salesforce server, and there Apex program will execute and it will give the result, and that result will be given to the Visualforce, and this Visualforce again will be converted into HTML, and that will be displayed in your system. This is what happening behind the scenes. Okay, so now what we will do is let's go back, and I want to show you the architecture. Okay, so this is how the architecture works. A developer, okay, writes some uncompiled page definition. Through the internet, it will go. Application server page compiler. Compiled code will be stored in the metadata repository. Okay, when a end user gives some request, that will go here and the page will render. Okay, HTML result will be coming to us because browser can understand only HTML. Okay, now Visualforce page architecture. Put the heading and take down this diagram. Okay. So now this is how a developer interacts with the Salesforce platform. And this is how a end user will interact. End user, the person who is using our software. He will open a website, right? Nothing but Salesforce, he will log in, right? There he will give some input, and through internet it will go there, execute, and the result will come. And he will see the result in the form of HTML on that browser. Take this diagram also. This diagram is saying that how a developer will write the code and how it is going to be working. Here, what we are saying, how the end user is going to use the application which is developed by the developer. The point here is, if you are using any other language like .NET, Java, then you will write your code in your system local machine. You will copy this code and you will paste this code in the server. Okay, that is how you will do it. And the end user's system also should have a specific application. In that application, if he opens that application, only through that application he can access this information from the server. So that type of architecture is known as a client server architecture, where client means the end user also need to have a specific software to connect to the server. For Salesforce, it is completely cloud computing. So you don't need any software to write the code also, to execute the code also. Okay. So we are directly going to the browser, and here we are typing login.salesforce.com and giving our username and password. Then we are logging into the Salesforce. Into on developer console, we are writing our code. Once we save the code, what will happen? Once you save the code, this uncompiled page definition means the code you have written and it is not saved yet. This is the first time you are saving. Then that code will go through the internet to the page compiler. And once it confirms that there are no errors, that correct code will be stored into the metadata repository. If there are any errors, then it will not store. From here itself, it will throw the error back through the internet. You will get the error. Okay. If it is stored successfully, then this will render the page and it will show the HTML result. You're getting my point? This is how a developer works on the Visualforce page. An end user, he will see a website. In that website, if it says that please enter your name, please enter your phone number, okay, then it will go through the internet to the application server, to the metadata repository, and from here it will render the page. Render means what? If I click on refresh, what is happening? The page is loading, right? That is known as rendering. That is known as rendering. It renders the page and it will display it in the HTML. So whatever you see in this page, any website, any page, whatever you see, that is HTML only. But they might have written in some other code. Browser can understand only HTML. So that code, in which language they have written, that language itself will convert that code into HTML. See, directly, if you want, you can write everything in HTML. But if you write, it will take 10 lines of code, for example. If you use Visualforce, within one line, you can write that code. So now what happens? The code complexity gets reduced. How many number of lines you need to write, those things will reduce. If you use directly HTML, if you want a table, for that, again, you need to I mean, do it from the scratch. But here, for all the commonly used things, they have given tags. So those tags you can use and directly get the respective output. So internally, what is happening is here you write it in Visualforce page, but that will be converted behind the scenes into HTML and it will be displayed in HTML only. Okay. So write down this diagram. Okay. You parallelly note down the diagram and listen what I am saying. Salesforce follows MVC architecture. MVC architecture, different technologies are also following MVC architecture. What is MVC? M means model, V means view, C means controller. So listen, I will tell later how to write, why to write. Model means data model. Like basically, you want to build a new software. Simply, what is a software? Means basically, it should have some data. You will store that data in the form of tables, and there should be connection between the tables through relationships. Okay, so that is database. Any software, if you open anything, it will give you a screen. If you are working on any software, basically it will give you a screen where you will enter some data. Okay, from where this computer, from where this programming, all these is started from calculator, right? Someone got an idea that, okay, calculator is performing mathematical calculations. Typewriter is having keys and it is displaying what we have written. A person thought that let's combine these two things. Then Charles Babbage is the person who invented the computer. What he thought is that, okay, let's create a computer where we will give some input through the keys. It will calculate and it will give the result. So basically, any software application, it will show you a screen where you can give some input or you can type something basically. Okay, that is view. Something there should be there to view, right? That is front end. Okay, for example, for example, let's consider there is a website where it is asking us, please enter two numbers, value for A, value for B. Okay. Okay. And if you add these, give these two values, I will give you the addition. I will calculate the ad and I will give you the answer. Let's imagine there is a website which is doing this. So 10, 20. These two values you are giving input. How you are giving? Because there is a screen which is displaying, there is a text. Please enter the value A. And it is giving a box. Inside the box, you enter the value 10, 15, like that, you enter the value. Second line, it is giving, please enter the value B. It is giving a box. Inside the box, you will enter some data 10, 20, 50, like that. After that, it is saying that click on submit. Once you click on submit, it will calculate and it will give you the result, right? So here, first value A, value B, you are giving, okay? And when you click on this button, it is going to call the backend program which is actually performing this calculation. That is known as controller. So MVC, model view controller. Model means data model, means nothing but database. View means something you should view, otherwise you cannot do, right? View. Model, view. Controller means controller will control this view through the logic. Here, Apex programming is the controller. Visualforce page is the view. Okay. Visualforce page is used to build that view. Model, data model, nothing but objects. Account, contact, position, all these objects are nothing but model. Okay. MVC architecture, model view controller. Okay. Model, data model, nothing but objects. View. It can be, this is also view only, right? This is view which is given by the standard Salesforce page layout. So I will give you some examples. Okay. Now it is, so it's your job to tell me the answer. The answer is whether it is it comes under model. I will tell you something. Okay. Now tell me whether it comes under model, or whether it comes under view, or whether it comes under controller. Okay. Apex class, it comes under what? Controller. Visualforce page, it comes under what? View. Okay. Object comes under what? Model. Okay. Page layout, this one will come under what? View. Okay. Asynchronous Apex will come under what? Controller. You getting my point, right? So backend logics will come under controller. Front end, what we are viewing, will come under view. Database related thing, objects, fields, all those things will come under model. So MVC architecture we are following to display and use the Visualforce page, Apex class, all these things. Okay. Is it clear? So tomorrow I will give you the notes for MVC architecture, and then we will see some more examples on the Visualforce page. Okay. Fine. Tomorrow try to come early. Okay. So that we can start early. Fine. Thank you guys.